What is going on, ladies and gentlemen of the tribe, and welcome back to another episode of Tribe Talks, the podcast that we sometimes talk about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Today, I am joined by my co-host, Karthric. I accidentally told people that we had Canada Fete on today, but that's next weekend, folks. You can blame my alcohol-addled brain, or rather the after effects of alcohol-addled brain, where I was hungover, let's be real. Like, Friday night, I think, was pretty heavy, and then Saturday night I had my dad and my stepmom and my two little brothers come round for dinner, and my brother, and it was another heavy night of drinking. We went through many bottles of wine, and I shared with some wonderful Eagle Rare whiskey.
Wine drunk sounds awful.
Wine drunk. It's a unique kind of drunk.
It's awful. I hate wine drunk. It is my least favorite way to be drunk.
I enjoy wine drunk. I don't like wine hangover. Wine hangover is not fun.
I guess I will reiterate that then. Yeah. Same. Wine hangovers suck.
It does. It feels so much heavier, than a not wine hangover. But anyway, Karth, how are you doing, buddy? How's your weekend gone?
It's been pretty chill. We did a little bit of yard work and a couple other odds and ends over the weekend, and then that's about it. We did lots of
drinking, lots of working, lots of push-ups.
Yeah, drinking, lots of drinking.
Good.
Why did you send me that?
Why did I send you what?
I
didn't send you that. How the hell is
that? You sent me an invite to our old Discord server.
Oh, I literally, all I did is I literally just turned down your mic because somebody said you were a bit loud, and I don't know how it sent an invite to our old Discord server.
I have no idea either.
The surprising thing about that is there are still 49 members in that Discord.
Yeah, it is weird because there's no activity there besides the bots, but
no.
But you know.
It's as sad as it is. Yeah, there hasn't been a post in the general chat there since January this year. Alas. A real shame, because that was a good guild.
Yeah. I hear you.
Yeah, rip. So you had a nice weekend then?
Yeah, it was pretty good. We just some light drinking, powering through different of my whiskeys, and then
of course,
little yard work. And then that's been about it. Today was pretty chill. Well, we've had some pretty shite weather too. It's been lots of rain, so it's hard to do a lot of stuff outside.
Yeah, well, yeah. Now this time of year is not really outside stuff for me to be doing. I go out for a walk because I need to have walks. If I don't have a nice walk, I get especially if it's like after the full week of working and then doing lots of videos and then drinking on a Friday night, I need to get out of the house so that I can decompress and be like, touch grass. This is a thing that I should do at some point.
So,
but the weather's not great for it. It's dark at like 4:30, and and it's were wet and miserable.
It was 1:30 when we were wrapping up yesterday, and it felt like it was 4:00 in the evening already. I was like, what the hell is this? This is some bullshit.
I'm a bit warm. I'm just going to take off my hoodie. Not doing a striptease for you. One sec.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Rude.
I thought I paid for premium services.
We are back in the room. Apologies. So yeah, it's been a bit of a quiet week on the Swugger front because, well, nothing's changing right now. We've had IG-90 in the game. Have you been enjoying? I mean, enjoying, is that the right word? IG-90.
I mean, it's okay. It's again, it's just the event, right? Coliseum just suffers from the lack of anything unique or different, and a lot of your high success on anything, it's just RNG. Do you get more crits than not? Do you get to land that vulnerable on the mass assist and skyrocket that extra 15% so that you can actually clear the zone, like the tier. And so it's just like I don't care enough to fight it, but I mean it's fine. It's the character is okay. It's interesting enough. It's again the problem with the current. I mean, not really a problem, just a change from the previous system to this one. It's just that it's a hurry up and wait. You know.
Yeah.
I got AG. Okay, now I have to wait until. Oh my God, 10 more weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I just today got my Luke and my IG90 to level 35 on my main account. So it's like, I think I've hit CG's prescribed end of the road for not spending money on levels. They're like, yay, this is where you are supposed to be. Now wait for the next marquee. So, I mean, that's good, I guess. My free-to-play alt account is, I think it's chilling like 17 on each. It just doesn't have the error currency to go any further, and I refuse to spend crystals on it. I'm just like, nope. I need my crystals for other things on that account.
Well, and it'll be a good benchmark to see if the true you'll get to level 65 without spending anything.
Exactly.
Is accurate.
Need that litmus test. So yeah.
So
I'm gonna find that out, I guess, in 10 weeks.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with my alt. Is I'm just seeing if basically like 7-star unlocks will get you. If you can 7-star by the end of every event, do you actually get to era level 70, or is there a amount of spending that has to occur to progress past 65 in a basics? I know if you're not 7-starring the characters, you should not be progressing past level 65 because you need the Zurichs to go further.
Yeah.
So,
I'm mostly curious about the error currency, because there's definitely not enough error currency baked into the system right now to level enough things. Obviously, you can get them relatively accessibly with crystals, but there's not enough baked into it normally unless we are missing stuff from, new era challenges or whatever.
Well, we don't have the data mines yet for the next episode pass. So my assumption is that the episode passes as you progress will have more currency with them as you keep going.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's just,
but we've got 9 days left of this
era? Yeah, basically.
Yeah. It has been nice, because we do get more bonus levels now, I feel, than we used to. Not many more, but, provided you're doing those feats, you do get quite a bit of extra error currency through that. But it's not astronomical amounts. You get 2,000 per bonus crate, don't you?
Yeah, and you're going to only hit that probably the better part of maybe, another 50 times if you bought the pass. So, it's going to be a nice bump in your income, but it's not going to be like meaningful towards the tail end of investment.
Yeah.
Just because it's like those later levels require so much error currency.
Yeah. Hello, everybody in chat. No, we haven't heard anything about error journey requirements, but I would be surprised if we do this year. I'll be honest.
I suspect we will hear about it because they have to. No, they don't have to. I take that back.
They don't have to do shit.
No, because we should see the update with the journey guide. Because Asajj is so late. She's like December 30th is when her marquee event starts. If I remember correctly.
Is that right?
Just scroll through the list of bullets.
No, that can't be right. That can't be right, because we're getting Yoda and Chewie, right? And then we're getting Inquisitor Barriss, so that's the next
Yoda and Chewie is the 16th. No, Inquisitor Barriss and Vader are the last two marquees.
Yeah, what about
Asajj,
bro?
She's coming at the second. She's the second half of.
No, because
Jesus.
look, we should be
Yeah.
getting we should be.
Asajj Ventress Era Marquee begins on December 30th.
Oh, how does that make sense? That can't make sense. Because we shouldn't we be getting Yoda and Chewie on the 16th, and then 30th? Shouldn't that be Asajj, and then Inquisitor Barriss is not until like 2 weeks after that. So Inquisitor Barriss will be the 13th, right?
Yeah,
Of
and Vader will be the and Vader will be the 27th.
Yeah. So like Maul comes to the game with Asajj, with Inquisitor
No, with
Barriss.
Inquisitor Barriss. So there should be an update. There should be an update sometime.
Yeah.
In the week prior, which I don't know who's a poor soul. I feel like they're gonna push the update way in advance though, because there's gonna be no one there. So I feel like
January
this
6th.
I feel like everything we're gonna get is gonna cut for this next episode or era, I guess. Well, no, it's episodes. There's 3 episodes in the era. So I think everything for this episode goes live with the next marquee with Chewie and Yoda. Because they're not going to be in the office to push an update out, and
maybe some poor soul has got to work overtime.
Maybe, but they've been usually
holiday.
Yeah, they've been usually pretty good about taking that last 2 weeks of the year just off and being unresponsive. So
yeah, but I don't know. I guess time will tell. But I don't know. I feel like even if they preload that, they don't necessarily have to. Put the error requirements in for more.
No, for the event, no, but it means we'll get the kit release for him, which I would assume the kit release will give us an inclination as to what the expectations are for the unlock of the character.
Because we already know the icons, we already know the animations of Maul's abilities. We just don't know what they actually do, right?
Yeah.
Right?
So the assets are in the game, but the kits aren't. So I would assume it would come with that, just because I can't see them doing an update during Christmas. But I don't know. It depends on when. It's just I can't imagine them being in the office past the 19th. As I guess where my head's at with this is that I would assume that they're going to be out from the 22nd until the 5th. Of January at a minimum, so 2 full weeks out would be my first guess.
Yeah,
but then they in theory could do the update for Barriss right on the 5th, and then go from there. I don't know. It feels weird to have so much go through on when they're supposedly out of the office.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out, I guess, in couple of weeks time.
Yeah, a couple weeks.
Yes, it's going to be weird. It's going to be weird. This new error system is like we're learning it all for the first time here, and it's definitely different. Definitely different. Definitely some teething issues, which is, I suppose, it's to be expected. I'm more curious to really see what happens after this era of the anniversary, to see, are they going to make any changes? Particularly to how Colosseum works, how the leveling system works, all that sort of goes.
Well, I think they will, but the better question really comes down to is I doubt we see a repeat of this particular era style where you have 6 marquees plus a journey guide, and they're all buffing different teams.
Yeah,
I don't see us doing that frequently. Maybe once a year we'll do something like that, but I can't see it back to back to back. There's just not that many teams that need that much love. So I feel like moving forward, they're going to do some sort of thematic, maybe 1 or 2 factions. Maybe they'll do like a partial new team for something else, and then they'll build up a couple of stragglers.
I definitely think it'll be 2. And the only reason I say 2 is because we should really be getting 6 marquees every era. And that's, I don't feel like they'll do, I don't think that they'll do, 1 full team and then a lifter. Well, maybe they will, like a lifter for a random team. I feel like they'll do like 3 for 1 team that maybe takes older unused characters to complete the 5 team. And then they'll do 3 for another team that picks up 2 older characters to fill out a team, rather than, but I might be completely wrong, obviously.
Well, I mean, they'll clearly have to be pushing out a new raid teams or expanding raid teams for the next raid. If that, I mean, if they keep the motif of what their design intent was, which is to basically push out a new raid every year approximately. So you would see that we need those getting pushed out and put together for future content there. Odds are we'll have another GL that will come out sometime toward the end of the summer, early fall. So there's another team that needs to come out there, and depending on what it is, they could build up multiple factions, because you could have things like, let's just say Grand Admiral Thrawn, Imperial Remnant leader that they leaked last year inadvertently. That they do follow through with him, and let's say that they give us, 2 characters plus a conquest unit and him, and then an existing character, like maybe Enoch finally goes and lives there, and then they go, okay, well, now we've gutted too much from Dark Trooper Moff Gideon, let's give him a 5th that kind of adequately boosts the team to make them kind of a little bit more viable again. They could take a faction like Empire, Imperial Remnant tags and build out different things for like a Galactic Legend while still building up different teams. They don't all have to be going directly to the GL.
Yeah.
So I could see them doing stuff like that, but a couple of factions at the most, I think, is where we're going to be at with the new eras. I don't see us doing this again where it's like, here's 6 brand new characters for 6 teams, and then the journey guide is for a 7th team.
Yeah. It just feels kind of weird. Just to quickly answer Darth Ataru's question here. Yeah, when you've got to the point that you've maxed all of your fleets, the only real use for fleet currency is to spend it on mods. And you will then very quickly find out you never have enough fleet currency, because you're like, mods are so expensive.
Yeah. Just always keep in mind that you should probably have a buffer of like 15 million.
Yeah.
Because you should always be ready to do at least 1 ship at any given time. And then on top of that, you'll need to have a buffer just in case we get another capital ship. And
even the abilities on capital ships are expensive.
Yeah, it costs you a lot. So you don't want to zero out on it. But you definitely want the only use after you upgrade all your ships is basically buying mods.
Yeah. And if your mod store is anything like mine, all of the good mods will always require fleet credits. It's bloody irritating.
I do not buy anything with fleet credits if the secondaries don't look good.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not, it can't be just having a +5 on the mod for speed. It's like, if it's a, tenacity cross with a potency primary, it's like, not going to buy that. If it's a crit damage or crit chance or offense, diamond, and it doesn't have an offense secondary on it, it's like, I'm not going to buy that. But if it's credits, since credits are just kind of pouring out of our butts at this point, I buy anything with credits that has +4 or greater, because I'm like, I'll roll dice on it and see what happens. Like, absolutely. I'm not going to upgrade it beyond this, but I'll just see what happens.
And there ain't nothing wrong with that. You'll never have enough mods no matter what. So, yeah. Fun in the sun. A lot of people have bandied around this idea, and I'm not sure if we've discussed it on Tribe Talks before, but what do we think is going to happen with fleet marquees? Do we think it's just going to be chases now?
I think it'll just go to chases. I can't see them doing with the Coliseum as it is. I cannot see them doing a fleet version of Coliseum.
Neither can I, because they would have to completely redo all of the artwork and the graphics, because you can't have a ship fly into a Coliseum.
Yeah, it would be a whole lot of extra for something they do so very rarely. I mean, we got 3 ships last year.
Yeah.
And 2 of them were in the last 3 months.
and the thing is with that as well, I feel like if they are going to do a fleet Coliseum, every single marquee in that era would have to be a fleet, because of how the system works, right? It would have to have every single unit be, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I do think we desperately need to keep on pushing out more ships to get more content for it, and eventually give ourselves another meta fleet, because God damn, I'm so over the Leviathan. But I just don't see that happening. I don't see them doing a whole era of just fleets.
I can't see it happening either, just for how rarely it happens. Odds are it would either be the era itself is only getting 5 marquees, and then the last slot would be taken by the ship unit, but it would be independent of the era system. Would be my first guess on how they would run it, because otherwise nothing else really makes a whole hell of a lot of sense, just because the way they've kind of made the design intentions around the meta fleet is they want some form of a conquest unit to accompany the fleet. And so it's like it would be very awkward to try to make, a fleet era where you have 6 new ships to come in, and then you're only going to use 3 of them or whatever in the next fleet. And that would be if they built a brand new from the ground up faction and everything else that goes with it. So we could see that, but I mean, I don't see them at this time doing anything for Coliseum or the era system for fleets. It would just be a chase. It'd be a one-off. The framework still exists for it to happen, so there's no reason why they couldn't.
Yeah, the framework still exists. It's just we haven't seen a chase in a long time. What was the last one? Was it Comeuppance? Was Comeuppance a chase, or was Comeuppance a marquee? I can't remember now.
I think it was a chase, but I can't recall. I think they modified the drop rate though.
Yeah, it bottomed out. It became really expensive. I think I only took it to 5 stars.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, it wasn't a very lucrative chase.
Yeah, the Comeuppance was the last one, and that was January 2024. And before that, it was Marauder, which was October
almost
2023.
almost 2 years ago was the last chase. But I
we've
mean, it can
only
still
had
exist.
like 3 ships since then. Like, how stupid is that? Since the Comeuppance, what have we had? We've had the Punishing One. Rogue One, and we've had
B-Wing.
Yeah, the B-Wing. Like three ships since January 2024, apart from the Comeuppance. That's wild. Gosh.
Yeah. I can't see them doing anything crazy about it. I wouldn't.
Genuinely, it feels like CG just doesn't know what to do with ships. I feel like they're confused. They're like,
well, I don't know if you went through and ever read that article that I don't know if it was EA or if it was the lead developer at Capital Games.
The 37-year life cycle thing. I didn't know.
Yeah, that would be a good read. I think overall, just to kind of get an idea of what they're looking at. They do plan on doing more ships and doing other things with it, but it is kind of trying to define a more dedicated space for them, because it's kind of it's similar but different from the core gameplay mechanics of the base game as a hero collector. And so it's like, they kind of have to figure out how they're going to make that function relatively independently, because it's very challenging to bring fleets in the same progression mode as the characters are. And so it's just, I think they want to separate it a bit more and change how that works before they
Era leveling system just doesn't really work for fleets.
Mm-mm.
And I think there could well be some technical constraints there around, because obviously pilots are separate from the ship. So if they release a ship that has got a pilot that already exists, but that exists in the legacy game mode, is that going to cause issues with an era-based ship? Like, will they interact? We don't, that causes so much issue. And frankly, to be honest, it probably fucks up the whole system for them. So
what they'd have to do is they'd have to give you a loaned unit as the pilot that would be whatever era level the ship was. would be kind of how it would function. But again, it's
if they can do it.
Feasible, sure. Worthwhile, no. At the rate they release ships, I don't see it coming or being needed.
Yeah. It's interesting, actually. I had some people in the chat just now saying they're surprised that CG hasn't touched on High Republic as an era right now. And the reason I call that interesting is because I don't know if you looked at the asset data mines from a while back when we had the era of the anniversary stuff, right? But there's a splash screen there, which is Batuu. And from what I gather, Batuu has ties to High Republic era content. Now, I don't know anything really about what Batuu is featured in, but on the Wikipedia page, it says a lot of High Republic content. So I'm like, maybe the next era is going to involve that sort of thing. I don't know. You know much about
I
Batuu?
would be not about it specifically. I would be surprised if they did much with High Republic, because High Republic, it's gotten better as it's progressed. I won't argue the point, but High Republic, for the most part, has a similar fate presently as kind of the Acolyte did. It's an era that is not gaining much interest. It's getting better as more qualified writers have been creating the stories in the space, and they focus on kind of the actual interest people have in Star Wars versus just crazy things that don't make any sense that no one gives a crap for. But anyways, I would be surprised, because the only way I could see them really coming back to High Republic is if they wanted to tie in more stuff from like Jedi Fallen Order, or not Fallen Order, well, Survivor.
So Survivor had some back and forth with High Republic stuff, didn't it?
Yeah, but there's not a ton of media that goes around except for the Acolyte that it would have to be pulling from books.
This is interesting. So I was just having a look through, and on Batuu is the Black Spire Outpost, and the first canonical appearance of the Black Spire Outpost was in Thrawn Alliances. So the Thrawn novels. And it's in Thrawn Ascendancy as well. So,
well, I mean, I am not surprised at all if Thrawn's the GL for the year. Like, I am not. I am anticipating Thrawn reemerging at some point. I think that they will not be reusing, Night Trooper, Death Trooper Peridia, Night Trooper, and Enoch.
They definitely don't feel like they're in the right place right now for those units.
No, and I feel like they're gonna kind of base it off of when he returns, which we should see part of that in Ahsoka season 2, which comes out this spring. So if they do that, then of course you're going to have the characters release afterwards. And there's a lot of fun things they can choose for Thrawn to make a thematic team for Thrawn. You got Captain Pelion that you can use. And he was in the Mandalorian show, so that's an option. You've got a couple other Moffs it would be way more fun for me, I guess, for them to bring more iconic or named characters back for Thrawn's particular team when they get to it. Than just using generic stuff. But we'll see. They got lots of time for it. Because again, it would probably be the era that starts in late summer, because every era is 3 months. So you got the one that starts in February. So that's March, April, May, and then you have June, July, August. So September, October, November. I mean, they could do the one that starts in the summer and then have Thrawn release afterwards, or have it, Thrawn releases.
That would kind of line up to timing for a new raid as well.
Yeah, but I would not be surprised if we see a lot of Darkside Empire kind of push with the new eras coming forward, kind of leading towards the new raid. So I mean, I'm fine with it. We'll see what shakes loose, but yeah, I think the Order 60 raid will run long again. I don't think it's going to get swapped out at the at May the 4th. Highly doubt that.
No, I don't think it's. Yeah, I think it will still run for about a year. I think it'll be about 12 months, but I don't think.
I think
don't
I think
will
it'll
change.
run. I think it'll run for almost a year and a half.
Well, you think it's going to be all the way through to like this time next year?
Approximately. I think it'll taper out somewhere between the era that ends around the
thinking on the
anniversary.
positives, like at least that means I don't have to worry about investing into raid teams for a long time. I can claim
Well,
that max box on the personal and the guild for a long time, baby.
yeah, that's I think, and people should be okay with that because there's not a huge incentive to keep like chasing after these teams. You get a little bit more time to get your scores up higher and score better. But I think also the reason why it's going to run long is because I'm anticipating the next raid to have a Relic 10 tier and
Yeah, I
relic
wouldn't be
and
surprised.
increased rewards. They talked about a new tier of rewards when they Order
Did Relic
66 came
9.
out, and
Yeah.
then they said no.
Yeah.
Um,
They did
so
nothing with that, and it made me sad because I wanted that extra tier of rewards.
yeah, and as do I. But I think for a portion of it is that they're going to need probably a little bit more time to load that out and to get people a little bit more access to Relic 10, so that way when they bring this on, it's not like a huge, just like, well, we've only had 3 Relic 10s available, and now you're like, okay, well, you need 25 characters to Relic 10 for max box.
Good luck. Unless it's
good
like
luck.
a 3v3 version of a raid instead, and you know you need distinctly less. I find it funny, Jedi TJ in the chat there thought he had an unpopular opinion, yeah, but it probably more like popular opinion.
Yeah,
Heaven Reborn should be the next GL.
I mean, I think everybody would love that in particular, but
I think he's the most asked for GL we've ever had.
Yeah, and they've talked about them putting it together, but I feel like there is a certain amount of runway left that CG is going to follow with the with Disney and EA, and then when that kind of runs dry, we're kind of caught up, right? Because there is season 2 of Andor we could kind of pick and pull from to get more Rebel content, which Rebels have got lots of love anyway, so it may not be the most prudent thing. Yeah. You have Ahsoka season 2 that's coming. You have the Mandalorian Grogu, which those kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Because their stories are going to start intertwining for the movie. So we know that that's leading back in towards the return of Thrawn. And so we're kind of narrowing the field of what's left to pull from before they have to go pick up something else. But I mean, I think people would lose their shit for Revan Reborn. I think they would lose their minds for Vitiate and his family. I think there's a lot of good content they can pick from, but part of it is just getting the access to it. And the other part is, what can they get approved? And so I think we'll see a little bit more walking off the media path after this year's concluded, and going, because I just can't. They have too much. That's kind of in my opinion. I think they've got too much. It's already kind of on the rails, and they can't really go off of it anymore. We have to get ready for the next GL. We have to get ready for the next raid, and I feel like that stuff's already in the works. It's already thematically revolving around the current content that's coming.
No, like from words that CG have said in the past, they've said it takes them a long time to develop a character. Like it's a 12-month process. So from start to finish to do animations and kit design and balancing and all this sort of nonsense. So they already know what they're doing for all the marquees next year. Like, sure, there might be some upsets and things will change, but it's already planned, whatever they're doing. Even if it was high level, right?
That's and that's like, if you go back to the old data mines, there are kits and animations that just never made it to the game at a time, and so they can revitalize some of those at any given point and do like what they've done with this era, which is they probably already had some of this stuff and asset laying around, and they finally just were able to get it to an era where they could release that content that gave them the window for it. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of this stuff has already been done as a potential, and then they were just waiting for the green light to come through to actually finish the kit and push it out into the live environment. But at this junction, I feel like for the top down, you know, from Disney and EA and Capital Games, there's a lot already kind of that they're going to have to follow along, because that's been CG's mantra for the last 3 or 4 years, is basically following the media releases
pretty much
of Star Wars. And so I feel like they're going to do a lot to tie into Ahsoka season 2, the Mandalorian Grogu, and once that fully releases, we'll see the content drip come behind those characters to give us the rest of it and move, and then kind of close it out. But once that's kind of closed out, there's not a lot on the horizon, which gives them a large period of time to kind of start, you know, framing out, you know, fan favorites, so to speak. You know, I can't tell you how many people would love to have another version of Starkiller and have Proxy and Juno Eclipse in the game, and Rom Coda and characters like that, or you know, dive back into some of the more fringe stuff from the Clone Wars and do like Clone Commandos, or do some of the other Separatist characters, or do some of the other, you know, different other factions that are a part of the series. And then, you know, or maybe dive back into the expanded or the expanded universe and you look at some of the older characters, bring in like Exar Kun or Ulic Qel-Droma, or characters like that. There's a lot of interest in those, but I think we have to get past what's known on the map. And right now it's like there's just too much coming this year that they don't follow it. Like, I can't imagine that no one's like, no, you've got to mirror what we're releasing. And it
has to be. I'm pretty sure Disney is so like aligned with its releases, because you get all the merchandise to go alongside with all the new releases at the same time, because they try to essentially love bomb the market with everything that's going on at this time. And we've known about the release schedules for upcoming TV shows and movies for like a year already. We knew that when Ahsoka's finished, that it got greenlit for a season 2 pretty soon afterwards, and it wasn't long after that we had I don't know if it was Star Wars Celebration or D25 or 24 or whatever that announced it all, but we had like the whole gamut of when things are releasing for like the next 2-3 years. So it's well, and the thing is too is that a lot of that stuff's been got cut out, and so there's not much coming out beyond. They have a couple of like their new stories that are coming out, so they wouldn't push anything for
the new Maul animated show. The new Maul show is coming. We'll probably have another Tales of the Jedi or Tales of series next with this
of Proxy.
Yeah. Honest to God, dude, I am not going to be surprised if Starkiller gets recanonized with the Ahsoka season 2. So
that would be so sick, but they would have to do some heavy rebalancing of his powers.
Well, so Starkiller is going to be their thought behind it is they're basically going to this is speculation. Let's start with that.
Oh, come on,
the thought behind recanonizing Starkiller is that he will become the Son incarnate. And so his power level will be higher because the Son became physical and then trained under Vader as the game goes, trained under Vader, but his power levels were so much higher because he was basically possessed by the Son, and the Son had way more, force power than any natural human that we've ever seen. I think that's kind of the idea they wanted to go with, but Filoni wants to bring the Mortis things back under the Father, the Son, and the Daughter, with the father being Anakin, the daughter being Ahsoka, and then the son being Starkiller, which is his other apprentice. but that's kind of the gist they want to run with for the Mortis gods, and then somehow this leads all back to releasing what's her nuts, Abeloth,
yeah, Abeloth.
But I don't know if they go down that route, because I don't know if Star Wars is prepared to bring that level of like mega bad person to the galaxy, like somebody who's like beyond the levels of
Well, they've got to do something, man. Like,
yeah. Well, the idea would be is that what ends up happening is that Ahsoka and Starkiller, under Anakin's tutelage, become the ones that defeat her and re-imprison her.
Mm-hmm.
But Balin is the one that sets them free, because they're not the father, the son, the daughter aren't connected yet.
Okay.
But again, this is just kind of the ideas, but it's kind of the framework that makes sense. Is they want to bring.
To be fair,
yeah,
a standalone Starkiller film would be fucking sick. Like,
yeah,
that would be so cool if we could actually have. It's not like a retcon per se, but if they could get Hayden Christensen back, and they could do, this is the story of how Darth Vader had a secret apprentice during the OT,
mm-hmm.
that would be so freaking sick. That would be so cool.
Well, and they can too, because it's again, it's nothing that hasn't been done before, because Count Dooku during his time
mm-hmm.
had multiple apprentices to a degree. They weren't really apprentices. They were, assassins or whatever else that he trained in the Force.
Mm-hmm.
But, Sidious could have always construed it as taking an apprentice on, because that was kind of like how Dooku treated Grievous was, and the only reason actually Dooku didn't take Grievous as actual apprentice is because he couldn't use the Force.
Mm-hmm.
But beside the point, you could argue that Palpatine gave his apprentice enough latitude to accomplish the objectives, that how he went about it wasn't really an issue unless it became publicized, which is why on all Starkiller's missions in the game, it's like you're not supposed to leave any witnesses. You're supposed to kill everybody. It's like it's maximum mayhem as possible. And so and then Palpatine does find out, he does kill him, and then Vader revives him, and they go back to being like, okay, now we're going to pretend. But I mean, honestly, it would be a really funny way of like of Palpatine creating his eventual downfall with pushing Starkiller to create having Vader create the Rebel Alliance.
Mm-hmm.
If you follow
that's the plotline of the original Force Unleashed.
Yeah, if they follow that for his original story, but there will be parts of it that you can't reuse, because of course, Darkseid Starkiller can't exist because, well, Darkseid Starkiller kills Vader, so that doesn't really.
But I don't think that was ever their canon ending, anyway, was it?
No, their canon ending was Starkiller dying in the throne room after trying to save everybody on the way out.
Yeah.
But it could be interesting. They could make it work. There's a lot of latitude in the series, so retconning small pieces here and there would be interesting.
Yeah.
And at this point in Ahsoka, every other character that he's ever come across is dead. Bail Organa's gone, Leia's gone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we don't have to worry about them recognizing each other now. It's just like, bah! Leia died of heartbrokenness, and
she died of sadness. Yeah, just like
died of sadness.
Yeah. It's like a family trait, apparently. Family trait of the female. It's technically not Skywalker bloodline, I guess, because Padme wasn't a Skywalker necessarily. I mean, by marriage she was, I guess.
yeah. But it'll be interesting to see what they do if they do decide to bring Starkiller back into the fold. And I think even for the game, it would be nice for them to do like a Galen Merrick version of the character, and then bring out the rest of the other stuff and just let us have some fun with it. Because it's like that people just kind of want to vibe with whatever's fun, and I feel like that's kind of the unfortunate part where this game went the last almost feels like 2 years, where it's like there was a lot of hype around Darkseid clones. Don't get me wrong, that was a lot of fun.
We saw a massive peak in player base as well.
Yeah, but nobody was thrilled for a new Bad Batch as characters. Mechanically, that's another can of worms.
Yeah, I mean,
nobody was.
Team, but I mean, I remember when they came out, like the entire player base collectively just kind of went, "But why?" Like, why are we getting Bad Batch?
I press skip on unlocking characters is what we heard the universal solo community do on that one. They're just like, next.
And they're like, yeah, we're not having an event, but randomly they're going to be used in the new raid. Why? Because we need to give people a reason to gear them.
Yeah.
Like, please gear these guys.
Honest, I feel like that was, it felt like such a hindsight maneuver to be like, but they are for the new raid. I'm like, okay, well, technically they could do that because they implied it wasn't for a journey event type thing. So, we were okay with it per se. But anyways,
it felt like it was going to be like an assault battle type thing that they were going to drop with it.
Yeah. But I mean, the clones were cool, but Temple Guards, Depa, people didn't really care. Mace, I feel like people were they were kind of excited for, and then his performance feels so lackluster. And the fact that he's just countered so heavily by two very common teams that
it was a peculiar choice to give him a weakness to Sith. It's like,
I mean, thematically funny, but
thematically funny, but like Sith already kind of hard counter Jedi, just generally speaking. Like, your Darth Revans will beat your Jedi Knight Revans. Traya tends to just dunk on any Jedi comp, generally speaking. So it's like, and you lose a really big part of his kit with not being able to reveal Sith. Like,
it's a huge part for him. And so it's like, there wasn't a ton of interest. Jocasta wasn't. She's looked way cooler on paper than she performs. The best part about Jocasta right now is that she's bugged, and you can throw the lightsaber every turn if you really want to try to crash your game.
Yeah. Watching her glitch out and not have a weapon, crouch over like she's got needs a hip replacement, and just randomly throws nothing, and you see an explosion. You're like, oh, okay, good job.
It's a lot of fun though. Don't get me wrong, but it's it's not really worth it. But then that's the way everyone felt about the pirates, because Maz was okay. Kix and Quiggled and Ethano, they're kind of pulling out from the back drawer of characters. Nobody had a real exciting thing to go down the tail of the 10-year anniversary on Force Awakens for content. People
like,
go ahead.
Like, I know people weren't excited about pirates, but I do think that Hondo and Maz pirate teams are actually a lot of fun. I think they're great.
Oh yeah. They were great additions to the meta. I won't argue the point, but it's the excitement behind the character. Like, that's more or less what I'm getting at, is like they just weren't meeting the bar for a lot of people. A lot of people kind of thought it was dumb to have Pirate King Hondo with pirates that he never technically ever worked with. And it was kind of like disheartening to not have we have Clone Wars Hondo and Naka with, non-related pirates, and so people are just kind of like, what was the
weird thematically to have like Pirate King Hondo is just like, he goes with the skeleton crew for some reason.
Yeah.
It feels like it burns both ends of it. It kind of diminishes skeleton crew as a faction, and then it just kind of puts PK Hondo in a weird spot. You're like, it's weird thematically, even if the team is good.
Yeah, so it's just the excitement behind that has been, for the last couple of years, feels like the only shining point was Darkseid clones, and then everything else has kind of just been like, whatever, like it's okay, Even with Ahsoka, Ahsoka was completely skippable as long as you had Ezra. Like, she's just dead weight on a defensive board for a lot of people because she does so much. The best part of her team does so much better without her.
this is my
And so it's
enduring
like,
problem with Ahsoka. It's just like, yeah, I could use Ezra in the Ahsoka team, but I feel like he just does better with Rey. Just like, apart from in TW. In TW, she can have Ezra all day, every day. Like, she can keep him there. So,
yeah, and I mean, it's just been, it was a kind of couple years of that, and that's all I'm really kind of getting at is like, Balin was exciting when they announced him. Great Mothers was exciting, but it's like Balin was, the shine fell off really fast. Just wasn't a very exciting character to use, and then he's still 2 characters short of a full team that's worth anything. That's the unfortunate part, is that he needs 2 more dark side mercenaries on his team.
poor Balin.
And with good mercenary uniques that can be usable, and so it's
they
like
hyped the Soldier of Fortune unique up so much, right? Oh, we'll release more mercenaries in the future, and they'll all have their own unique Soldier of Fortune thing. And we're like, so about those new mercenaries, was it just Hunter and Wrecker?
well, yeah, they're the only 2, and even then, it's like, okay, well, they clearly are supposed to go with Bad Batch, but like they do have some great uniques for the team. But then they're like, oh yeah, well we updated Kira and and a couple other of these older mercenaries to function under the team. And it's like, yeah, but they don't really vibe well with the longer it's progressing, because they don't share the unique, which is what makes Balin's leadership so impactful on the area, is giving all of those Soldier of Fortune stacks right out the rip. And it's like they can't interact with it. They don't really do anything with it. And unfortunately, with how this game goes, if you cross light side, dark side characters, you usually wind up with a significantly weaker overall squad because of datacrons. And so it's very hard to adequately be excited about a team that was like, well, it works really well in 3v3s and occasionally in 5s. It's like, oh, yay, what I love about this game, 3v3.
yeah. I mean, I've slowly sort of come to be okay with 3v3. I don't really mind it as much anymore. But I'm not, don't get me wrong, I'm not like super happy when 3v3 comes round. I'm not like, woo, let's go 3v3, baby. It's just like, okay, I guess we're doing 3v3 now. And I'm usually confused because I obviously forget how to 3v3 every single time at the start of a new GAC. And of course we do get the joy that is new Datacron sets with every first round of 3v3, and that adds just a whole other element of what the heck?
I'm not a huge fan.
Yeah,
I don't hate the game mode. It's just I feel like it's just like it's the one where everyone checks out
a little bit. Yeah,
just like if I can win, I'll do it. If I can't, I'll just do my 10 and go to bed.
Yep. So I've just seen that for some reason my system settings has lowered my microphone down massively. So that's fun. I'm trying to adjust that so that it's actually speaking within normal ranges. So this one's going to be a fun recording for people at home. Yeah. So, what else is news, Garth? What else is news?
Unfortunately, not a heck of a lot. We were talking about this just before it started. That they have kind of updated Barris's kit reveal specifically, not really anything in the kit itself, but that they had changed it to her ideal team in 5s is her leading a squad of Inquisitors. That doesn't include GI or Reva. And so we don't have enough Inquisitors for 2 full teams.
No. And
so I have questions.
And one of those would be Marok. And we were talking about this earlier, but I don't really want to take Marok away from Balin. He's already, he's a great unit, don't get me wrong, but he's already kind of a significant part of the power of Balin's kit. We already talked about how he's one of the people that's actually sharing some Soldier of Fortune stuff, right, with the rest of the team. and taking him away kind of hurts that Balin team. And I don't want to have to do that for the. And, candidly speaking, I don't feel like Inquisitor Barris really. I should be all that excited about using her as lead for a 5v5 Inquisitors team. It's just strange. We would need at least 2 new Inquisitors, basically.
Yeah, that's kind of where my brain went with it, is that we're looking at needing 2 new Inquisitors because they want to have her use second sister, ninth sister, eighth brother, and fifth brother as part of the team. So that leaves GI, Reva, Marok, and seventh sister separate. But I can't really think that they're going to yank Marok from Balin permanently.
No.
So I feel like they're going to backfill with 2 more Inquisitors, which, I mean, the easy shout, of course, is obviously fourth sister, because she has quite a bit of a play in the Tales of the Empire with Inquisitor Barris, as well as she does show up a little bit in the Kenobi series.
Yeah.
The other one that kind of comes to mind immediately is that medieval medicine doctor look with the beaked nose that Ahsoka fights in Tales of the Jedi.
Yeah.
So there's a possibility they backfill with those 2 and make the Reva Inquisitor team like an actual threat versus GLs again more consistently.
I mean, maybe.
Maybe. But yeah. I'm just perplexed as to why they updated that, because it's like the initial thought for a lot of us was that they would go with Seer Ufu, and they've kind of just wiped that
in the initial
in the initial anniversary post. They said it was that you would find a home for her under Seer, and now it's like that's not going to happen. I mean, it still could. She's still a dark side Ufu, but
yeah.
I'm just interesting to see what they do with it, because they're leaving a little bit of latitude there to add something to the game.
Yeah.
I see in chat they're talking about Purge Troopers. I'd love to get Purge Troopers into the game as a playable unit. I just don't know if CG is going to go down that rabbit hole.
They've already got Purge Troopers literally in the game.
Yeah. And I would love them to be player controlled. That'd be really cool.
Purge Troopers apparently did serve the Imperial Inquisitorius, so it would make sense for them potentially to give them the Inquisitor tag.
Yeah, potentially.
Like, they're not technically Inquisitors, but they are part of the faction, as it were. Yeah. Like, that could happen. Maybe.
Well, they're Inquisitorius.
That would be like an easy fit for them, because like they've got the animations. They'll probably tweak the kits, because the kits are never the same as what we see in TB. But give it to us, baby.
Yeah, I'd be okay with it. It was just interesting to see them put it in like that, because it's just like there's a lot of things that they could add into that, but I just feel like that if they plan on having a full new team for 5v5, is their idea is that it's just like, hey, until you get Reva or GI, then this is what we anticipate you leading them with. Because then at that point, why would you be dropping out seventh sister out of any of that? Because she should be a part of any Inquisitor team. So it's just interesting that they have it with the people missing that are missing.
Yeah. It's kind of bizarre, but again, maybe time will tell. Because even like IG-90 in the Afra team doesn't have like full synergy and stuff like that. And the fifth, that what they were recommending, weren't they recommending HK to be fifth in
they recommend team? HK. Yeah, but he lacks the scoundrel tag, which gives him a lot of disadvantage for the team. Comparatively,
and frankly, they would have to add, in my opinion, re-add in the additional crit damage and power he gets from Darth Revan's leadership, and put it into if Afra is the lead.
Honestly, that was one of the things I wanted to go, see if we could get any lead on from CG, was just like, hey, with these new teams, are we getting any potential touch-ups on existing characters? Does HK get a little bit of love for, make his unique function with Dr. Afra lead, or give it like a payout mechanic like like IG90's contract is, where it's like a certain number of siphon stacks it gets activated.
Yeah.
We could do something like that. You could give him update his unique to go if Dr. Aphra's a leader, he also gains a scoundrel tag, which would help out his kit quite a bit.
That would really help, yeah.
So they're just simple things like that could be really helpful. But then the same thing with like Clone Wars Chewbacca with Yoda and Chewie is that, you know, that's who they recommend. But Clone Wars Chewie is a hot garbage of a tank under that team.
Hey,
you know,
don't insult my R9 Clone Wars Chewie, bro.
Zalbar is doing all the heavy lifting on that team, and Chewbacca's only little boost is that he can give you some max health and a heal, which isn't terrible, but it's like my brain goes, okay, could we get, you know, a touch up on the kit to work better with Wookiees, because his character was created before that ever existed.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like Vandor Chewbacca is still going to be one of the best ones there, because
they should just give Clone Wars Chewie a unique. That's all. Just give him a Wookiee unique, and
yeah, or anything. To be honest with you, because that's the problem I'm seeing with the characters. Like, you know, they're like, oh well, we don't expect you to use you know, Vandor Chewie here because, you know, well, he's not very important. It's like, yeah, but Vandor Chewie has like one of the best uniques of all time, where he's just like, he goes, hey,
doesn't he ramp damage when he's getting
no. Well, no, that's veteran.
Oh, that's
Chewie.
veteran. Sorry, yeah. I
I
don't use either of these characters.
His unique basically goes, if Chewbacca is buffed, all damage enemies deal is cut by 25%.
Yeah, that's kind of huge.
Yeah, that's huge for a team that's revolving around getting punched in the face to then turn it into offense.
Yeah,
like you're trying to tell me that Clone Wars Chewbacca is bringing anything to that team? It's like, ooh, I can heal myself and give defense up for 3 turns. I'm so good at my job. It's just like,
he's not that great.
His kit is just so outdated, and there's no unique. And so I'm like, are you guys planning on doing any touch-ups? Because it feels a little insulting to be like, yeah, enjoy your Relic 9 Clone Wars Chewie here.
He's got so nothing much that like screams old school Galaxy of Heroes. Basic 55% chance to remove 50% turn meter. His second special, he dispels all debuffs on himself, recovers 50% of his max health, gains defense up for 3 turns, and a 50% chance to gain 25% turn meter. It's like, bro, just make it 100% chance to gain 10% turn meter. Like, what all this like percentile chance of maybe doing something that's, you know, not that great. It's like, come on, man. That's what they always used to do.
I mean, listen, I understand how the kits work here, guys. I'm just saying, defense up is not. It's all he does. He's just a meat shield otherwise. Like, I'm just saying, he needs more. He needs more to go to outweigh that, because Vandor Chewbacca is like, yeah, but I reduce all incoming damage by 25% as long as I have a buff on me.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well, that's pretty easy. And in addition to that, he'll revive Zalbar if you happen to make it through him. Yeah. You know, and he'll revive veteran smuggler Chewbacca as well. It's like, I can't state this enough. Like, Vandor brings way more to the table than just what Clone Wars Chewbacca does right now. And so it's like, I don't know what else you do with that. Oh, also they did update Vandor's unique.
Oh, did they?
With one word.
Oh, what did they add?
So the offense up he gained, instead of stacking for 2 turns, it's now until he uses 2 abilities.
Oh, okay. I mean,
so he gets 12% offense ramping.
Yeah. And
then it'll stack until he uses 2 abilities.
So if he gets stunned, for example, it will keep on.
Yeah.
If he misses a turn, he'll keep ramping. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So they changed it from the offense for 2 turns to 2 abilities. I want to say that's what that meant. I have to go back and look at it, but it looked different when I looked at it this time, that they had changed that, which is good, because the Zeta's awful. The Zeta is offense duration +1.
Yeah.
That is the Zeta on that character.
That is top quality Zeta. That is right there.
So I don't understand that particular combination of things, but either which way, I think it did get changed, which is still an improvement for the team, because his offense gets really nutty when converting the defense to offense with Tarful. But I was kind of hoping they would get is Chewbacca and Yoda GAC Almies?
Oh, I can't remember.
I want to say that is the answer.
I might still have the kits up.
Special inspiration, the fur. I want to say, yeah, Grand Arenas. Yeah, that's what it is. While in Grand Arena, if there are no Galactic Legend enemies, Wookiee allies gain 25 speed and 40% critical damage. And if they're all Wookiees, they gain a massive list of bullshit.
Oh, I mean, Master's Training at the start of battle is great. That's 25% to most stats off the rip. Whenever an ally attacks out of turn, they inflict target enemy with a dot. That's kind of meb or whatever. Whenever an ally gains Foresight, they also gain Retribution. That's kind of interesting, really, because if you've got Foresight, you're not going to counterattack as well. So I know it's for 2 turns and whatever, but it's kind of a funny thing to happen in general.
It's more or less about just more ways for them to proc the dots and keep attacking out of turn.
First time each ally defeats an enemy, inflict all enemies with fear for 1 turn, and all allies gain Foresight. That's nice. And start of Yoda and Chewie's turn, everybody gets vulnerable. Everybody gets vulnerable. And whenever Yoda and Chewie uses a special ability while they have Foresight, they trigger all dots on all enemies and inflict disarm on the target enemy for 2 turns, or until Yoda and Chewie is defeated and they remove it from all enemies. Yeah, it's decent. It's decent. The thing is, I don't know anything about the Tarful team. I never, ever used it. He's still at Gear 12 from when I unlocked Jedi Knight Cal Kestis like 15 years ago.
Oh, that's kind of funny. I didn't think about this, but because Yoda is a Jedi, the master's training effects will double for him specifically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so he'll get 50% offense, defense. Can't remember what other stats.
Potency, tenacity, and accuracy.
Yes, accuracy.
Yeah,
he's gonna hit Ezra once.
Well, except for the Ami shuts off with any GLs, so.
Yeah, I can't see people, using Ezra with a non-GL team. That could happen. It could be in a Spider Maul team.
Spooder Maul.
Spooder Maul. Spooder Maul. Yeah. It's, so I think I will actually have to relic up my Tarful. That's not something I thought I would do.
I've had it done for a long time, so it's I'm okay with it. Yeah. But I'm just interested to see like what the actual team looks like, because they have some of the recommendations just don't make sense, I guess. I'm hoping that they do more touch up, because I'm kind of even hoping that that Boba Fett Son of Jango or Fennec gets a little touch up as well. Yeah. Because they'll do really good in TW. Like they're talking about with Zuckuss, Fulham, Asajj, Fennec, and Sign of Django. Yeah. Sign of Boba. So no. Yeah, Sign of Django.
Sign of Django. Boba Fett. Sign of Django.
Yeah. I'm sorry. To get my phrases back to back. Anyways, they said that they're gonna be hunting other GLs than just the one. Like they should be doing more than just Vader counters with that team built together.
I'll be happy with that, because I think I've got all of Boba's Sign of Django's. Do I have all of his armies? I'm not sure. Yes, I do. He's Relic 7, so I'll probably have to take him to R8 minimum. But I've got all 3 of his armies, so maybe there'll be some fun times coming for Mr. Boba Fett, because Zuckuss and Fulham are R9 already, so that's going to be a fun team. And then, of course,
Asajj gets a nice boost for GAC, and so that one I'm not too worried about being anything crazy. But then outside of that, man, like the one I'm like stuck on, and I'm like, okay, we know what the 3 team is going to be. It's going to be EP, Mara, Vader, and then it's like 4 and 5. It's like I'm just like, I don't like your answers for what you want us to use. Like they want us to use Tarkin and
Tarkin is
Royal Guard,
choice, right? Yeah,
Tarkin and Royal Guard.
I would have thought they would have done something with Thrawn there, because like feels like Thrawn is objectively better, but I suppose Tarkin has had a rework now, and he probably hurts a little bit more. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, but Tarkin, for the most part, a lot of his stuff still clauses out with dark side clones.
Yeah, I think
And
it's
so
just
it's like-
his ultimate firepower is still going to be ramping with his basic, right? So
Well, and his basic ramps further with more dark side clones.
yeah,
So he gets additional 10% damage for each active dark side clone ammo with the basic. He just has a lot of debuffs, right?
yeah,
You get the potency up, but it's only to him, and then the tactical supremacy, which that buff is over on, which might be the reason to use it, right? That buff's over on Trench.
Trench. Yeah, Trench passes that.
What is tactical supremacy? Critical damage and potency, recover 10% protection at the start of their turn. If dispelled, recover 40% health and gain advantage in foresight for 2 turns at the end of that turn. So that's not something to be overlooked. I guess it's part of the reason why they want to put him with that team, is that the potency boost will help. But again, it's one of those things where it's like, I get the idea. I don't know if in the execution of things that it'll be worth your while, because my brain says in 5v5 you'd be silly not to put the OG Vader on that team, because he's just going to take 8 turns, line up a bunch of shenanigans, and then the new Vader's going to be like, and let me just finish the board by killing everything.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I am looking forward to getting Duel's End Darth Vader.
Yeah, my
like
brain wants to either I want to go Darth Vader Thrawn, or I want to go Darth Vader Piet.
Yep, Piet would be good there.
Because Piet, if you can, because the funny part to me is that if you're not facing a GL, you can put hold on, I'll have to go reread. But if you're not facing a GL, everyone gets hatred, so they'll revive themselves. So you can put Mark on anybody you really want, and then rack up the damage while you're
gain
like,
the stats, right?
Based the stats for it. But if they kill your OG Vader, Piet gains all those stat boosts, and then Vader just comes right back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it'll be fun. I think there's probably some theory crafting room there.
Yeah, there are 2 answers. Like I get Tarkin, but like I don't think the team needs a tank. It's a TM train. TM trains don't really need tanks per se. Like they need to keep the train looping, and so it's like that's why I could see Tarkin for the debuffs. But Vader and Piet add so much additional damage with Emperor's Trap and potency and stuff like that it feels like something that'd be really hard to skip over.
Yeah. I mean, so you're leaving a lot of power on the table there, but I guess we'll find out. We'll find out in 2 months? 2 months, basically. That's how long we're going to have to wait now, isn't it? To do some testing with these guys in real world environment. Oh, that's sad.
Tico, they don't.
Sorry,
Tika said that Zuckuss and 4-LOM break Asajj's Omicron, and it only breaks one clause of the Omicron. It breaks the 300% bonus protection at the start of the battle, and that's literally just there as a precautionary caveat to the team for 3v3.
3v3, yeah, to make the team tankier, because you don't have a tank then in 3s.
You don't have a tank. Yeah, you don't have a tank. Where Zuckuss pre-taunts.
Yeah.
So it's literally there just to protect it in 3s and be viable. Oops. Outside of that, it functions just fine.
All right, Karth, it's that time. We need to jump into Tribe Talks questions.
We should do that.
We should probably do that. All right, so here we go. Jack Backer says, "Sorry, what?"
Oh, I said we can just cut out half of them because they're all for Canada Fett, who's not here.
We'll skip the Canada. We'll save them for next weekend when we do have Canada Fett. Okay, so Jack Backer asks, "What is your dream faction to enter the game? Mine would be Chiss. This could bring a new fleet as well, which I can only see as being a good thing." Karthrick wants the Doggo faction in the game. Yeah, look at it, Doggo. It's a good Doggo. Dream faction to enter into the game. That's a good question. I don't actually know off the top of my head, unless it is, Starkiller faction that gives proxy.
Whatever gives proxy, whatever the faction.
Whatever gets me proxy, Ramcoda, Juno Eclipse, and Galen Malak. Whatever that faction is, the Unleashed faction. Okay.
Yeah,
that's the one
I would whatever gets me either Revan or Vitiate, I would be okay with. Even like Clone Commando faction would be really cool for me, but that's about where I go. There's a lot of things where it's just like, do I create a brand new faction for this, or do I just add on to existing and hope for the best?
Yeah. Okay, so next question comes from Lalna. Lalna asks, do you think people would be more willing to spend a boatload of cash on error leveling for characters if, for example, error level 95 would put the character to Relic 9 or even R10 at the end of the era?
Ooh, R10 is excessive, but that would be...
R10 in and of itself right now is basically $200, right? When they had those packs, it was pretty much $200. And... What did you say it cost to basically take Luke, and that was only to 70?
To go, well, so it's the error levels to like 70 and 80 gets cheaper as we progress. So I'll have to put the average together at the end of it. But we know to go from level 80 to level 95, it's about $130 a character. So it's half of what it would cost to go to Relic 10. But my response to that is that if 95 unlocked a Relic 9 character, I would be more okay with the cost. I wouldn't be completely satisfied. I think Relic 10's too excessive. I think it defeats the entire point of what they're trying to do with Coliseum. But hi, you're fine. She's over there talking shit in the corner. But I would think that Relic 9, 8 or 9 at the end of the day would be a much better use for the cash that we're having to invest to get those to level 95. And we just don't have enough information as to what you fully get with the full investment, because it's like with the era challenges giving you an extra 2,500 ish era currency, that's an additional bonus if you can max them out, which is only require level 75. And then if you max out the entire era level path, which is like 665 levels, that gets you, if you do the entire thing, is about like another 9,300 era currency. So about 10-ish days of first place, in addition to probably the entire month of first place if you're going that hard in the paint. So we don't have enough insight yet to know quite the full value of the invest, but for right now, in my opinion, we're not getting enough out of the cost.
And realistically, for me personally, I would say that it's actually less. Well, it depends on your target demographic. For someone like Karth, yes, he would love it if it would go to like R9. Sure, I understand that. But the only way I see it being more globally appealable to people is if the price was less, not that they gave more for it. I think if it cost like $40 to go to era level 95 and it gave Relic 6 characters, you would see a much wider adoption. But the way it is right now, like for me personally, I don't care if it gives me a Relic 10 character. I'm not going to be dropping like several $100 to take marquee character. It's too much money for me to be spending, but that's obviously going to scale based with everybody's disposable income. Right?
It's 150 just to get to the character at 7 stars. And then on top of that, you've got, depending on how aggressively you want to get to that level 80 mark, there's a cost there. But let's just say that you as a player is patient enough to wait until the end of the era to get everything to level 65 for free. And then you spend from there forward. You would need to spend approximately about 150 a character, if not a little bit more north than that. Depends how much era currency you need to purchase. And I did see packs for Zerix in the Dead of Mine, so there might be a chance to backfill the difference.
Yeah.
But because you're going to have to, because honestly, if you're not going air level 70 right out the rip, you're missing a lot of Zerix materials that would probably help you with that. We don't know what that pack costs yet, so until I see that pack, I can't see how much more that's going to jump forward in cost. But if you're unlocking the characters at 7-star by the end of the first week, we're assuming right now that level 70 is probably the accurate level that you finish at if you don't spend any money. So 71 to 95, plus, let's say every character needs, $20 of era currency. You could be looking like 160, $180 additionally on all 7 characters.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's
a
not
lot.
that you, it's not that you spent the 150 on the 6 characters. So, that's $900. Now you're looking to spend another, like 1,400 just to max out the track, and the reward for it right now, from what we see, is not close to worth it. And the other side of the coin too, for a lot of people, it's like you're basically forcing me to pay for gear again, because I now can't use anything that I have to supplement that upgrade. So it depends on what it costs to where the era levels are going to be for the journey guide for Spooder Mall. If it's like 75, then my advice to every single person is get your 7-star unlock, day one, do nothing with era level besides what the game gives you. Wait till the last week of the era, and then just make your bumps to get the 7-star journey guide and call it a day. You'll save a lot of money, and Relic 10 just really isn't gonna be.
It's not necessary right now. We don't need it. Not yet.
Until it's required.
I think that's going to change next year for sure. I feel, but but for now, you don't have to stress too much about it.
But until we know more about how the system works, I don't see a lot of purpose in investing a ton of money into this, because the payout just doesn't look like it's worth it on paper. I mean, I can't see it right now. There's nothing that tells me that I should be spending $2,000 on 7 marquees to get them at Relic 6.
Yeah. And that's coming from a really big whale in this game. Not the biggest, obviously, but like the average player, it would never spend that money. It doesn't matter how, how much you sweat in the pot. The average Joe is not going to be dropping that sort of money, no matter what, right?
No,
so
and I think
certainly not on a recurring basis.
The whales you see this go around are only spending out of confusion, not out of desire. And so I feel like this, like the next era, you're going to see fewer and fewer people go ham day one to be at an advantage. I think a lot of people are going to go 35 to 45, maybe just spend a little bit more than that to stay towards the top 10 of their shard, but that's it. I don't see anyone going quite as crazy, because the cost just is not worth the reward at the present time.
All right. So next question comes from Jal Endo. He says, should CG reset Colosseum rewards with each new marquee in order for people to generate the required resources to level up the new toons by going through each stage from the beginning? It seems like the leveling up Luke, but then you've got no repeat materials for IG, or you level up Luke and level IG. So the structure that they've gone with is very, very deliberately curated. It is designed explicitly to level you at a pace that CG has decided upon, right? And that's the one-time rewards are an integral part of that system. So they have designed it very specifically based on, how much currency we get for the very first marquee, how much additional materials we get for the second marquee and the third, how quickly you can actually level up those characters, and to what point you can use that just crystals, and then cash is separate. It is all very deliberate to try and slow you down to get you to play every single day to unlock everything over the course of the entire era, so that by the end, your characters are error level 65, but during that journey, you have got a massive FOMO period where you're like, I'm missing out on rewards. I need to spend money. I need to spend money so that I can level up these characters to get the next tier of rewards so I can level up my characters more. It's very purposely designed in that way to encourage you to spend. So they're not going to change those reward structures.
And as you progress later in the tiers, though, the amount they give you increases substantially to compensate for the other characters that you'll need the material for to keep upgrading later. So you will see more and more rewards as you go, because what you'll see is the early level stuff you'll get from the marquee events for participating in those. And then the later stuff, they'll give an abundancy in Coliseums tier 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 to get you all the way to 65. And so just because you can't see those yet, it doesn't make any sense to you.
Yeah.
But the further you're able to progress, the more it'll make sense, and you'll be like, oh, okay, I can get to these rewards without having to spend anything.
Yeah. But it's designed that way very, very deliberately. It's supposed to make you want to spend money, and the only way that you can get over those speed bumps where you're like, oh, I'm stuck at 40%, but if I got to 50%, I could get to the next level. It's deliberately designed to stop you right before you get to that point, so you're tempted to spend, because the only way that you could level up instead of waiting is to drop $5 or drop $8 or $15 on the packs that are in the store. You have to fight that urge. You have to fight that urge. So like, I am hoping that come next era, we see a much bigger rolling start to the first marquee, where it doesn't come in at level 5, it comes in at like level 30, and then they just ease out that leveling. But who knows? We'd have no idea if CG is going to take that sort of approach for the future. Thank you, Jal. Thank you, Jal. Next question comes from Strange Talent. He has a talent, but it's a little bit strange. Does CG need to update matchmaking to reflect Relic Delta? Massive GP differentials in Territory War makes for a terrible experience for the underdog guilds to succeed.
Matchmaking for TW, yes, that needs improvement. Because like, if you were going to say GAC, it's like, well, GAC's matchmaking is kind of non-existent comparatively between the two game modes, but it should take more things into account. But I don't know, the lack of communication about anything TW related just makes me feel like TW is not something they want to keep trying to sustain. So my guess is that the change to TW might just be that they quit doing it.
Well,
replace it with something else.
Yeah, I very much hope that they bring out something else in terms of guild PvP, but we have no indication of if that will happen or when. I do agree, though, that Relic Delta disproportionately hurts Territory War more than it hurts GAC, because you like an early game guild can have literally one whale on the enemy team that sets a couple of R19s on the front wall in like the north and the south, and the whole guild could throw their entire rosters at it and not break through. You know, and that's not a fun experience.
I need a guild right at 380 million GP to pay me $5 per guild member per month, and I will join your guild.
That would pay for your error leveling.
I will hoe out my roster to sit there and make sure you guys go undefeated in TW.
Carthrick has now gained the mercenary tag. He is for sale. So thank you for the question, Strange Talent. GDJT asks, have you ever noticed how much you guys rage against theoretical things that might happen in the future? Have you talked to your therapist about it? I don't think Carth really rages much.
I've talked to my therapist about it. They said coming on Tribe Talks is the best thing for me to do. So
this was actually a court-mandated podcast to deal with Carth's anger management issues.
Yeah. Scribe's been like mandated by the courts to take me on for these recordings, but
yeah.
I mean, it's also, you know,
some of the rage becomes hyperbolic. You're just out there
Absolutely.
ruffling feathers because it gets more interest.
I don't know if you know this, Karth, but I do YouTube videos. And
Do you think clickbaity and ragey titles get you more clicks and views than
they
being
don't
like, hey
not.
guys, this is okay?
they don't not. And I don't want to pretend like I'm disingenuous when I do videos. That's not true. But things do get exaggerated for video content, in case you guys haven't noticed. And frankly, when I am pissed off, I will say stuff about it. And that's okay. And that's okay. My therapy is a Friday night of doing far too many shots, and it works wonders. The Molten Flame asks, how do you think marquee ships will work in the future? We've already gone over this.
We covered that one.
Yeah, we don't think we'll get marquee ships. We think we'll probably just get galactic chases and legendaries and shit like that. We've got a question for Canada Fett, so I'm going to leave that one there until next week. And we've got another question for Canada Fett, so I'm going to leave that one there till next week. All right. Darth Jar Jar, Padawan Sidious asks, do you think that with Carbonite Lightspeed tokens for a new account, is better to use them to invest in teams, journey characters, or assault battles like the Poncho Bros? I actually did a video on this earlier today. The Carbonite Lightspeed tokens for early game free-to-play accounts is fucking phenomenal. And it's way better, in my opinion, than using... You're better off getting a bunch of 1,000 Carbonite Lightspeed tokens, saving yourself 300 Kyrotech per character, than saving up for 5,000 and using it on one Relic 5, in my opinion. Because you get most of the hump done. I don't really care about the stars or the ability levels per se, because starring is the easiest part of a character grind, in my opinion, especially with all of the accelerated shards. If you've got like a cantina farm, you can get that done super, super quick these days. Obviously, hard node farming takes a little bit longer, but in my opinion, go for those 1,000 error currency ones. Save yourself 300 Kyrotech. You can get most of the way to unlocking like Star Killer in a matter of weeks. It's really, really cool, and I think it's a huge, huge benefit to people. Because even if you're only getting like 100 error currency a day from Colosseum, it only takes you 10 days to get one Gear 12 character. That saves you 300 Kyrotech. Like, it's really, really bloody good. You can massively accelerate all of your GL farms, all of your Star Killer farms, or you could go for Balin, like Bo-Katan Mandalore. Loads of really cool stuff you can get out of it. So I'd highly recommend. I don't know if you disagree on that, Karth.
Nope, I agree.
Cool. We've got our staple question coming out of my boy Roy over here. Karth, you ever going to finish watching Skeleton Crew, or is it dead in the water for you?
It might happen over my Christmas holiday. I've got a solid week off of work, so I might be bored enough to fire through the remaining 7 episodes I have to watch, or how many there were in the season. I've watched one.
That is a solid maybe. I like it. A solid maybe from Karth. For an end game player, he asks, who with still a couple of characters at lower gear, is it wise to get Lightspeed tokens from the Colosseum store to get them to R5, or should I spend it on R10 mats? What are your thoughts on spending Colosseum currency? Do you want to go first?
I mean, if you're end game, you should be doing nothing besides Relic 10. Like, unless there happens to be a character that has any kind of meta viability, then we can argue that by a case-by-case situation. But for the most part, endgame accounts, it's like, what are you going to go get that's going to be anything different? Like, if you're 13 million GP, it's like you've got most of the toys. So it's like you need to be hoarding Relic 10 mats purely for the sake of when they start becoming requirements. Even if you sit on 500 servo motors because you don't want to spend them on anything, it's better to have those when the next raid has a 620 million GP box, or the personal track requires Relic 10 to max out, or at least one Relic 10 team to max out. Those are going to be worth having, but there's so little from there that it's like, oh my God, I want the GP bloat by taking IG86 to Relic 3. Like, I don't think that's worth it per se, because with the new era system in general, you have no use for your gear except for either committing it to relic materials or upgrading old characters. Those are the two things that you can do with it now.
Mhm.
So you'd probably be better just using your overflowing resources from TB and TW and other game modes where you're not going to be using it as much, and just investing into them naturally. Or if they're just utter dead weight like Uggy is, then just
don't bother.
Just don't bother. Like it's just a GP brag at that point. Like, it's like the difference for me to go from where I'm at 16.4 million to 17 million is just slapping down R9s. Pass.
yeah. I completely agree with Karth here. If you are truly an end game player, you don't need those R5s. You don't need them, and you just might as well spend your own resources for that. That store and that currency is the only way to get Relic 10 mats without spending money. Like, it's the only way you can get to Relic 10. And Relic 10 right now is not necessary, but it will be at some point in the future. So you might as well just be getting those Relic 10 mats. One final question from Roy. He says, out of the current Datacron set, what would you say is most recommended getting and why? With crazy, insane interactions. What crazy, insane interactions have you come across the last few days in TW or GAC matchmaking? I faced 2 Rays with R10 and the Attackercron completely take out my layer team. I mean, I think he's hit the big one, right?
you should be using Slacker there to start with, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, the attacker crons are nutty. Not only do you get ramping offense whenever any other ally inflicts a debuff, you just get, if you can figure out who has the most buffs and what counts as buffs. Like, I love that Smee's overheat counts as a buff. That is so much fun to just be like, yeah, you just target him. You target him. If you can get Smee targeted with Ben on the first turn, and you can pass from Ezra to Ben because it gives him additional 100% offense. You can usually wipe out the entire team on the first go of things if you can get it to pop off in the correct fashion of things.
Side note, don't use Smee.
Smee is gonna hurt Hondo for a fat minute moving forward. You're better off using OG Hondo with the team. Temporarily at least, while the attacker cron exists. I think the wife's getting back from jiu-jitsu. So.
She's getting ready to kick your ass.
She can try. Unfortunately, grappling is only going to work for her if she can choke me out. Otherwise, if I just stand up, it's like, you don't want me to fall over on you. I weigh twice as much as you, and you're really going to hate that outcome.
Yeah.
But unrelated to Star Wars.
Not that would ever happen anyway.
No,
obviously.
But the way I'm looking at it, the two best crons, from the way I see it, are the healer level 6 and the attacker level 6.
Mm-hmm.
Because the healer level 6, as long as somebody survives, everybody gets a free life. So unless you're going against something that prevents revives, you can revive into certain things. So there are certain places you can use that mechanic to abuse, their opening salvo to kill off your team. You revive back, and then you use that time in between to do something useful. If you have a healer, of course, otherwise it wouldn't do you look good.
Yeah.
But those are the only two that I've seen worth it. The support cron is, it's good. It has its point, its uses, especially like some of those overpowered level 9s that go with like the cup cron. That can be really useful. The support cron with Cad Bane can be useful with Hut Cartel.
The support cron with Imperial Troopers actually does some stuff because you're getting a lot of buffs. You can create turn meter loops again with Imperial Troopers, but you have to find a place that you can actually use that. Is the bigger thing.
which is usually the rub. But any which way, it's like the attacker cron is going to be the one that you want the most of.
Yep.
You want to try to get like 10, 15 of those, and then everything
30.
else, like you're going to want like a couple healers, a couple tanks, a couple supports, probably more healers and supports than tanks. Mm-hmm. I like the tank cron is still just red herring. It's it has its uses, but it's like if you don't get enough, there's not enough defense behind it. It would be a much more terrifying level 6 if there was like 300% defense available on the team again. Because then, timing out killing Ahsoka twice would be a real issue.
Yeah.
But as it sits right now, it's not that big of a deal. Like I can just go through her twice. Like, oh no, extra 30 seconds for the battle. What unfortunate series of events.
Oh, no.
So yeah, that one, it's Attackacron as much as you can get, and then a couple of everything else, and call it a day.
Completely agree. The Attackacron is just beyond busted. It's ridiculously powerful.
Honest to God, that 25% bonus on a special should have been per each buffed enemy, not per each buff on target enemy.
Yeah, but don't change it now because I've spent too much reroll hits.
Oh yeah, no. If they change it now, I'm gonna be like, CG, I need like 7 vaults back.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm going on strike and taking my credit card with me. Yeah, that's fair. Good questions there, Roy. Thank you, bro. So Rurik asks, any advice on how to choose between Relic 10 materials or the R5 Lightspeed tokens in era shipments? I'm 10 million GP and I'm not sure what to spend the materials on. I mean, we've kind of touched on this, generally speaking. At 10 million GP, I think it is a little bit more blurred. I don't think most people need that Relic 10. So
I don't at that one. No, you need to be a lot closer to endgame, in my opinion, for that to matter. But like the way I would look at it is those R5 Lightspeed tokens. I would look at it as what journeys do I need to complete that those tokens work for. Work towards that, and then once you're done with journeys, you just quit.
Yeah,
using them for that. You go back for Relic 10 materials.
And side note, you should also be incredibly picky about how you spend that. Like, if you've got a Gear 10, I don't know, Tarpals, right? And you want to get Jar Jar unlocked, that's a good candidate. If you've got a Relic 2 Tarpals, I wouldn't use it. Like, just spend the mats to relic them up. You want to try and find a place where you can maybe recoup some Kyrotech and recoup a significant amount of the signal data and the carbonite circuit boards and all that sort of good gubbins.
Yeah, it's like if you want to go for Afra and you have put 0 work into the droids, Hondo, or who was the 4th character for the unlock on that one? Sana, yeah. If you want to do those characters and you've got nothing into them, then great. But yeah, like you said, if you're already like at relics, you're most way through Gear 12 already, then probably not worth the squeeze for what the value is on their other characters. So I would just view it that way. If there are journey characters that you can still work towards, GLs, journey guide, whatever those are, and you're just not going to spend on Lightspeed bundles for anything else, then you can put those there. But otherwise, you can just put them towards the Relic 10 mats, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay, so Fish Slapper, what a great name, by the way, asks, is the fleet meta too polarizing? Profundity, Executor, Leviathan, maybe Endurance beats everything else. They removed a lot of the old off-meta counters like Finalizer versus Executor with the punishing one. Chimera, Radus, Executor still don't do much, I assume. I think he probably means Executrix at the end there. I think the problem with Fleet is that it's too old. The meta is too old at this point, that we've kind of figured out all the counters, and then they threw a spanner in the works by doing stuff like Profundity, B-Wing, and Rogue One. They all just kind of fucked shit up collectively.
Well, they created a problem with the punishing one, and it became a dominant fleet for a little while. And then when they brought the Rogue One out, that just absolutely throttled back the Executor. The Executor still has a place versus
Leviathans
for one, but it's clearly not nearly as clean. And then CG just came out and said that on top of that, we're going to buff this again to make this more and more challenging. Mm-hmm. So it's like the older fleets have a purpose. You can still go through the option of using 2-tap methods, Malevolence into Finalizer, and a couple of the light side fleets into other light side fleets. There are different ways that you can use it for a 2-tap method and still get viability out of your fleet. But that being said, in the same vein, most of the times nobody wants to use a 2-tap method because there isn't. If you're relying on 2 taps to clear like the enemy Leviathan, and your opponent only sets Leviathan down and then nothing else, like you're they can clear you a lot more efficiently than you can clear them, and so it just creates a little bit of issues with your scores. And so people don't really rely on 2-tap methods. They want 1-tap opportunities. And so right now with where the older fleets sit is that they're balancing a lot more of that for early game players who are using everything outside of maybe Executor in their metas right now. They don't really have the Profundity. They don't really have the Leviathan. And they want to keep Leviathan at the top. So until we get a new meta, Leviathan's just could be a pain in the deck.
It just feels like it's been bandaged over. Just Band-Aid, fix the fleet meta because we haven't got time for a new fleet. So let's just keep these 3 as the prime ones. So yeah, hopefully we'll see more fleets come to the game next year. Teeks asks, new GL when? And why should it be Cassian? Next year, new GL
shouldn't be Cassian either way, but we'll by the anniversary next year we should have the next GL. I mean, that's been kind of the SOP for the last couple of years now. So my guess is it's going to be a new Thrawn for the next GL.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it's GL Thrawn, but I thought we were getting GL Thrawn this year.
And it was pirates, and everyone's like,
I should have seen that one coming. I should have seen Pirate King Hondo coming as the next GL. But hey, alas. All right, we have got a final question in the chat. It comes from Hazel Autumn. How does the promise of future Lightspeed tokens impact priority on finishing GL requirements instead of switching to Leviathan or other Journey Guide characters? For instance, if someone is only missing Fennec, Chrysanthemum, and a few low Kyrotech characters, would it make sense for them to get an early start on Leviathan, then wait to get heavy Kyrotech, Fennec, and Chrysanthemum for free in March? Or would you be better off just finishing off their Jabba farm? Are the 3 extra months of mod materials better than getting Leviathan cheaper? Or cheaper? Yeah, so yeah. How do you prioritize that? You're going to say something there, Karth. I'll let you go.
Oh, well, I mean, fleets are always the priority.
Yeah, in my opinion.
Because they have the biggest impact on your roster and your gameplay for the most part. You could argue that there are benefits to Jabba for the mod materials, but it just, if you're hurting for those kinds of things, you're better off getting the gear invested into fleet, getting higher fleet payout. Like there's so many things that are nuanced, right? Like if you can't place high in the fleet right now in your fleet shard because you don't have a Leviathan and you don't have your Executor counter doesn't work to get you to the top, then you would want to work at getting that crystal income, because that crystal income over 3 months is going to be greater than the mod material that you're going to be missing out on during that time as well. So there's a lot of nuance to this, but like, if you want to say the materials for Jabba to go to the Leviathan and then pick Jabba up for essentially free at the same time, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I feel like going for these characters, when you know you're getting a free pass on them in 3 months, you're better off going for the fleet. If it was like any free character, like I don't know if these are specific Lightspeed tokens for those specific characters, like we got for Sabine and Ezra and Phoenix, then you're basically not going to be able to take advantage of it, and you're gonna be paying for a character you're going to already get for free. So if that's the case, then I would just go for Leviathan and then wait to get the free character in 3 months, because you're not going to see a noticeable difference in your account between the 2 times. By the time the 2 events are taken care of. So
I'm pretty sure you get Fennec is one of the Lightspeed tokens, a named character. So you would get Fennec. I don't think Santi is, but you can use the Bounty Hunter Lightspeed token on him. But you could also use it on any other Bounty Hunter, right? But Santi probably makes more sense if you've already got Fennec, or I suppose you could use it on Bausch, or you could use it on Skiffguard Lando or something like that, right? I'm just double checking. Yeah, I think it's just Fennec that's actually named. But yeah, I think it's going to have to be an individual basis. I agree with what Karth's saying, though. You should always prioritize fleet and fleet payout. because that just helps you in all other areas of the game. So, yeah, fun times. And that is actually all our questions from Tribe Talks. I mean, we had a few, but they were with Canada included, and we'll save them for next week because we should. That's what
next week he'll be here. So
exactly. Not today, like I accidentally told you all. I'm sorry about that. I'm very sorry.
Well, we'll survive, I promise.
Yes, we will. We will. Anything else you want to cover off, Garth, before we wrap things up over here?
Not massively, to be honest with you. I kind of got through most of what I wanted to get through.
Yeah.
For today. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Cool. I mean, I will leave you with this parting thought. Mrs. Scribbles made a rather wonderful tiramisu yesterday, and it was a clear winner for the entire family. Everybody loved it and said it was delicious. So there you go. Mrs. Scribbles has unlocked a new talent, and it's making tiramisu.
So Scribe's gonna either start hitting the gym again, or
yeah, I'm I'm gonna be getting that diabetes. Yeah. It was rather tasty. It was delicious.
It's like the reasons why I like forbid my wife to bake frequently. Just like
she's like, honey, you're gonna leave I can't resist.
Yeah, it's gonna be in the house. I'm gonna want a quick little snack, and I'm gonna have a piece of pie, and then by the end of the day, I've eaten a whole pie. It's not good for me.
Yeah. Fun times. All right. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the chat at home. Thank you, Garth, once again for joining me. Good sir. And everybody in the live chat, we do appreciate you very, very much. I will see you all tomorrow night for GAC. The final round. Maybe I can actually win this time. Who knows? I will see you all soon. Good night.